Good afternoon and welcome to your lunch primetime news. You're with me, Jitendra Kunasena. Let's now take a look at the headlines.
Fire that erupted at the Salava Koskama Army camp contained. Army media spokesperson. Ministry of Health warns of respiratory illness brought on by smoke from the Koskama explosions. Colombo-Avisaville road remains closed. Public urged to use alternative routes.
Army media spokesperson Brigadier Jana Javiru says that the fire which broke out at the Salava Army base in Koskama last night has been contained. Director General of Health Services Dr. Palith Mahipala said that 47 people were injured in the fire and the series of explosions which followed. One soldier died in the incident and his remains are placed at the Homa Kamak Base Hospital.
Army Commander Lieutenant General Krishanta De Silva confirmed the reports, adding that the Army entered Salava Army Base early this morning and conducted inspections. Lieutenant Krishanta De Silva said that the first priority of the armed forces personnel was to minimize human casualties. He added that several homes in the vicinity of the Army base were damaged. Army Commander Lieutenant General Krishanta De Silva went on to note that inspections are still underway as many are still trapped inside their homes.
The fire which broke out at the Salava Army camp in Avisavela has been contained. Army personnel have now entered the premises of the camp and are now assessing the situation. One soldier died and another was injured in the fire. We urge the general public residing within a radius of a kilometre of the camp to temporarily refrain from approaching the site of the camp as operations are still underway. We also request the general public to refrain from touching the debris and shrapnel which was scattered by the explosions. If you come across any such debris or shrapnel, we advise you to inform the military or the police. Minor explosions continue to be reported from within the armory due to the extreme heat. However, they do not pose a significant threat.
Director General of Health Services Dr. Palith Mahipala says to the 47 injured, 37 others have sustained minor injuries in the fire. Dr. Mahipala added that one of the injured has been transferred to the Kandy General Hospital for further treatment. A spokesperson for the Avisaville Hospital said that a wounded soldier is currently receiving treatment at the hospital. Meanwhile, Air Force media spokesperson Group Captain Chandima Dialvis said that a Bell 212 helicopter has been deployed to conduct an aerial inspection of the situation at the Salava Army base in Koskama. Military units have advised the general public to refrain from touching or collecting debris and bomb shrapnel in the vicinity of the army base. Our correspondent said that debris and bomb shrapnel could be seen shattered in the area.
I'm currently in a village which is located about a kilometre away from the Salva camp area. Throughout last night we heard explosions. A shrapnel and debris from these explosions landed in this area as well. What you can see here is an ammunition which is as tall as me. A significant portion of it remains lodged underground. This particular projectile landed at around 2 this morning.
However, Army media spokesperson Brigadier Jana Javiru requested the general public to inform the Sri Lanka Army's operations room of any debris and shrapnel. Minister of Disaster Management Anura Priyadarshana said that camps have been established in several locations to house those who evacuated from the Koskama area.
We have set up camps in a number of locations and our team is working on providing the necessary facilities. Likewise, we have stationed our personnel in a number of areas as of this morning, so we will be able to look after the displaced without any issue. I have also provided instructions to the personnel to help evacuees get back to their homes today.
Newsfirst correspondent A.R. Lanandam captured footage of one of the explosions which took place in the area this morning.
The explosion started at around 5:30 p.m. We were looking at it and realized that the explosion was intensifying and then
ගෙදර අම්මලා වහලා එහෙම සම්පූර්ණ විනාශ වෙලා අපි ගෙට එහා ගෙදර ගිනි ගන්නවා. මගේ ගෙදරත් දැන් මේක ගොඩයි. දැන් කොහෙද හරි සහෝදරයෙක් ගෙදරකට යනවා.
දැන් මොකද උනේ?
දැන් අපි සද්දයක් ඇහුණා. අපේ දරුවෝ මග ඉන්නේ. අපි මේ දෙන්නට දුවනවා.
කඩේ එහෙම ගන්න. කඩේ ගන්න. කඩේ හොම. කඩේ හොම. බලලා තියෙන. කඩේ ඩක්කලා ගත්තා නේද? හරි.
Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena has issued a statement with regard to the fire that broke out at the Koskama Army camp. The statement reads, quote, "I have requested all authorities to take all immediate actions necessary for the safety of the residents of the area. My condolences to the loved ones of the brave soldier who succumbed to injuries in last night's fire at Koskama camp." Meanwhile, in more local news, the police are urging motorists to use alternative routes due to the closure of the Colombo-Avisavela road following the fire that erupted in the Salava Army camp yesterday.
Vehicular movement continues to be halted through the Salava area. The main road from Kaluagal to Koskama remains closed. Vehicles travelling from Colombo towards Avisavela could turn right at Kaluagala, enter the Labugam road, pass through Thummodara and enter the Puakpitia main road. Vehicular traffic has been allowed from Pugora to Koskama. Vehicles travelling from Hangwella could travel through the Hangwella Old Road and pass through Giridhara, Pugoda and enter Koskama. Evacuees are now returning to their houses. A severe traffic congestion cannot be seen on these roads.
Reports are emerging of health issues cropping up among individuals who inhaled smoke following the fire at the Salava Army camp in Koskama.
Even though the fire that erupted last afternoon has been contained, Newsfirst captured this footage of the Salava area still being engulfed in smoke. We inquired from the Ministry of Health with regard to the health hazards that could arise when inhaling the smoke that contains chemical properties as well. The Ministry of Health stated that individuals who inhale the smoke could suffer from respiratory impediments. Dr. Anand Jayalal, the Deputy Director General of Environmental Health, Occupational Health and Food Safety at the Ministry of Health stated that such individuals suffer from wheezing and respiratory difficulties. He added that water from unprotected wells in the area should be consumed after thoroughly cleaning the wells.
We do not think that there will be a serious health threat as a result of the properties that got mixed in the environment after the fire that erupted in the Salava camp in Koskama area. We say this because the chemicals have likely spread thin over a large area due to factors such as wind. Since the fire is controlled, the effects will reduce further. But people who are living within a kilometer of the incident could face breathing difficulties if they inhale the smoke. They could be subject to wheezing and EOPD patients could sometimes see their conditions increasing. If this is the case, it is important to consult a doctor and obtain treatment. There's a chance of these chemicals re-entering the soil when it rains, but that won't create a serious issue. However, when consuming water from wells that are not covered and are unprotected, those wells need to be cleaned up first.
Meanwhile, Director General of Health Service Dr. Palita Mahipala warned the public of the possible health issues that may arise due to inhaling the smoke.
There's a possibility of experiencing minor respiratory difficulties due to the smoke. If such difficulties occur, visit the nearest government hospital to obtain assistance. Public should also exercise caution when obtaining drinking water. Do not obtain drinking water from exposed wells till they have been purified. Consuming pipe-borne water is still safe.
In other local news, 2 Pakistani women who were in possession of 502 grams of heroin were remanded until the 15th of this month. The 2 individuals were remanded after being submitted before the Negombo magistrate.
The suspects were arrested by officers of the Police Anti-Narcotics Bureau on the 29th of last month upon their arrival at the Katunaika airport from Karachi. The suspects were between 30 and 40 years of age, had arrived in the country along with 2 children. One suspect had smuggled in 25 packets of heroin in his stomach, and while a further 18 packs were discovered smuggled by the other suspect. Both the 2 women and their children were placed in remand custody after being produced before the Negombo Magistrates Court yesterday. The Police Anti-Narcotics Bureau notes that that drug smugglers are now resorting to paying off drug mules to transport their merchandise. Meanwhile, 8 Nigerians who were in possession of 220 grams of cocaine were arrested on the 2nd of May. Later on, 1 kilogram and 206 grams of cocaine were found during raids conducted at a neighboring house of where the Nigerians resided.
And well, that's all the news we have for you this hour. Join us again at 1:55 for more of the very latest. For Newsfirst team, I'm Japin Three.